Afternoon, this is Mr. Peaceful Poet. The name of this video will be 3IAtlas. And of course, most of you, I'm sure, know what 3IAtlas is, but if you don't, I guess it's a rock, and it's billions of years old, I understand, and it's traveling through space. It's probably been here before because the universe is one just huge big clock. So everything just goes around and around and around. It happens again and again and again. And so it's probably been here before. I possibly maybe 3,000 years ago, but we really don't. There isn't a lot of knowledge about that because we wasn't when it was here last before we weren't here. Uh, that's what I'm told, anyways. Um, but this video isn't really about 3IAtlas. It's about I just received an activation, a code activation via Lily Nova, and so I'm inspired to make this video. I was going to make this video earlier, but I just hadn't gotten to it. Or but now that I've received this activation, I'm kind of inspired to make this video. So it's not really about 3IAtlas, though I will talk about 3IAtlas, most likely at the end of this video. But what this video is really about is spirituality and the physical world. And I think it's important that you understand that there are two worlds that coexist together. One, of course, is the physical world, and that's the world that we're in right now. In this world, we can touch, we can feel, we can see, we can hear, we can smell. This is the physical world. And in the spiritual world, they can do none of those things. They can do none of that. And so they do this through us, and we are here for them. They create, they are. They created us. But they are not greater than us, and we are not lesser than them, even though we are their creation. Because what we were created for is to experience things, to do things for them. What we do on this earth affects them there. Okay, this is why it's important that they try to contact us and try to teach us and educate us and raise us up, etc., etc. Because what happens here, when the evil happens here, it happens there. I'm sure in the Bible you read about a war in heaven. When there's wars here, there's wars there. Whatever evil happens here, happens there. So they are, of course, inspired to raise us up and make us better. And I'm sure that there's evil there in the spiritual world to also encourage us to do evil things as well. But these are the two worlds that coexist together. And those of us who are spiritual might be of great faith because what we believe in the things we cannot see, and this is called faith. We can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it, but there is a way we can. What things we do here can affect the world there, and thus we communicate with them. Okay, and this has been learned over thousands of years, and some who may have been reincarnated several times, may have learned all this, but that's what that's about, the two worlds. I remember saying in the past, that God created the rabbit and the wolf will kill the rabbit. So this explains that. That world, there's good and evil in that world, there's good and evil in this world. And the good and the evil from that world comes into this world. And what happens in this world affects that world. Okay. So that being said, 3I Atlas is a pretty amazing thing. It's a rock, I guess, that's billions of years old, that has existed, they say, before the sun came about. This is how old it is. And it's been traveling through space billions of years. And they know this because of the lights that they've observed from it. And by the lights that they observed from it, they can tell what chemicals exist. And by these chemicals, they can know how old it is. We're pretty smart people, pretty smart people. So, so it's pretty amazing. It is here and it is now. And around the 30th of October, it's going to come behind the sun, and we won't see it. And at that time, it's going to be the closest to the sun. And they say, possibly, that it might burn up or break up when it gets closest to the sun on the 30th and 31st of October. They don't know for sure, but it's possible. Think of that, if you can. Billions and billions of years old. And on that day, we will be there and we will witness this. That's not by accident. That's not by accident. And if you've been around and you've observed things as I have, nothing is by accident. Everything has purpose and reason. Everything has been planned, and everything is by choice. But nothing is by accident. Nothing. So this is a pretty miraculous thing. And that's what I'm describing to you is the physical world, the physical aspect of 3I Atlas. That's the physical aspect of it. It's a big rock, I guess. But the spiritual aspect of this is it's a spaceship. Okay. And this isn't no lie. Okay. It actually is. It's a spaceship. And on this spaceship, there are Larians. There are aliens, extraterrestrials. And what they're doing is they're sending codes to us. Send the codes into the sun, and we will the 3I Atlas will be here, the sun will be here, and the earth will be here. They'll send these codes into the sun will expand them, and they'll go off into the earth. And this will happen around the 30th, 31st of October. That's the spiritual aspect of it. You won't see it, okay? You won't hear about it. You may not even know it. But on the 1st of November, you'll just realize something you never knew before. There's going to be a change. There's going to be a change. Everybody's going to have this change on the 1st of November. They will realize something they had not realized before. They will waken up to something that they just couldn't possibly understand right now. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And that's the spiritual aspect of 3I Atlas. It's part of the spiritual world that you can't see while you're in the physical world. But there are those who are spiritual who can see these things, who can know these things. And this is what's going to happen. Okay. Let me go ahead. I'm going to just talk about Donald Trump here. Sorry, can't help it. Can't help it. I got to talk about Donald Trump. There's this King's rally going on, and someone had asked me to attend it, and I'm like, what the heck is this for? What's it about? Donald Trump isn't the greatest person in the world. No, he isn't. But he isn't the worst person in the world either. And it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Okay. So realize it is getting better. It could have been worse. Donald Trump isn't human. He's not a human being. And the thing is, I think he knows that. Not everybody on this earth is a human. Some of us, the Gnostic scriptures teach of this. Some people are born on this earth and they just don't have a soul. They're not human. They're just bodies. They're just human bodies. And the life that they live may be very destructive. But according to the Gnostic scriptures, God will have mercy on them and will take them back into heaven and give them a soul and bring them back here. Because God is merciful. And that's what Donald Trump is. He's just a body. He doesn't have a soul. He's not a human being. But I think he knows that. And that's why he's changed. He has changed. But just because he's changed doesn't mean he's perfect. You know, he still makes mistakes. He's trying. He's trying. He has mentioned that he wants to go to heaven because, and that's why he wants to save as many people as he can. And then he recently told a reporter that he doesn't think he's going to go to heaven. And that's probably because the Epstein files are going to come out. And he's probably in them. And it probably doesn't look good for him. And it's probably going to take him down. There is a prophecy about him. Edgar Casey prophecy about him. You should look for it. It's interesting. But I think he's going to go to heaven. I think he will, because he tried. He did try. And God sees that. God is merciful. I don't know, man. I thought this would be a lot longer video. I thought I'd talk about a lot of things, but I guess I really didn't have that much after all. But it is important to understand, though, that the spiritual world and the physical world are different. Okay? Don't mock those who talk of the spiritual world, because they see things that you cannot. Realize that. And those who have no touch at all of the spiritual world, they're very physical. Probably your atheists who can't see anything spiritual. They just can't. It just doesn't register in their mind. They're not bad people, okay? And you're not better than them. We have to stop with this. They're better than us. They have to be like us. You got to stop with that. Equality. We're all equal. We're just different. We need to understand this. We're all equal. We're just different. Okay? And we all have our different purpose on this earth. And we all have to do it our own way. And some of us have stumbled, got a little bit lost. But you want to make this world a greater world? Help those who have stumbled, who've gotten a little. Help them. Don't hate them. Help them. That's what's wrong right now. The hate. The haters hate the haters. That's what we're living in, this world where the haters hate the haters. And this has got to stop. You're not helping. You're not helping. You're just making things worse. You're not the solution. You're the problem. Okay? You want to be the solution, then you need to step up. You need to be the bigger person. You need to be higher. And you need to help those who you feel are less than you. You need to help them, not hurt them. Hurting them does not make things better. Helping them does. Okay? Understand this. I guess really that's what I wanted to say. Love and peace.